Alright, so here's episode 0 of the Drive Podcast. I just invented it. It's my podcast I just made just now. So what I do is I just drive around in Forza and I talk about random stuffs. Today we're going to be talking about the impacts of artificial intelligence on our daily lives. This is something that piques my interest, like, most definitely. I'm just going to be kind of rambling here. I've kind of been training my rambling skills for the past little bit, few months or so. I've just been kind of talking to myself like an insane person over here. But that's what happens when you get locked inside for 4 years, you know? You're just kind of hanging out and talking to yourself. So, yeah, I think the impact of artificial intelligence on our daily lives is a very interesting topic because it's something that's really important for our future. Just, for instance, kids. Like, kids are going to be growing up with artificial intelligence being part of their lives, like, just like they open up a phone and, like, they have an AI built in, you know, or they get in their car and the AI is built in and they can just talk to it, you know? It's one of those things I think about. It's like, is AI listening to everything you're thinking right now, or saying? Not thinking exactly, but it's been proven that they know pretty close what you're thinking at this point. Like, this is episode 0, so my rambling is not going to be amazing, of course, and it needs to be chopped up or whatever, but that'll come later. But yeah, I think in the long term, I think AI is it's going to be good in the long term, I believe. But I think maybe I'm just hopeful. I've seen a lot of things. I actually haven't seen anything bad from artificial intelligence. Aside from, there is one artificial intelligence that was created for malicious intent, but I mean, of course, people are going to do that. Everyone's going to create something with artificial intelligence. If you look at all these companies like Microsoft, Meta, Meta is Facebook, Twitter, they're all using artificial intelligence now. Every single one of them. Brave has its own open source AI called Leo built in. Microsoft has their AI built in. Google has Gemini now. They used to have Google Bard and now they have Google Gemini. But I think the biggest issue is we need to make sure that we're not replacing creativity with AI. A lot of people are saying AI is creative. I don't really think AI is creative in and of itself. I believe AI should be used to help the creative process. And this is just things that other people have said as well. But I agree with, the things that I had thought of back, when AI was first being released back in, 2020, even earlier, 2018. Google showed back in, long ago, they showed their AI ordering something from somewhere. I can't remember, but it was basically it was a robot making a phone call. That's right, it was booking an appointment for somebody. It was long ago. I say long ago, but it was back in 2016. I used to watch this stuff on YouTube all the time, way back when. Back before COPPA and all the crazy regulations on the internet started. The kids nowadays really don't know how different it is on the internet nowadays. Like, even just like 6 years ago, the internet was a completely different place, And I believe a lot of that's because of artificial intelligence and such. But, who knows? Maybe we are just artificial intelligence, believing that we aren't artificial. And it makes you wonder, it's like, how do you boil down intelligence? Since computers use the same sort of algorithm that our brains do, if you want to put it in those terms, computers are using a neural network just like our brains do. And they're using electricity just like we do in our brains. We have biological, electrical, chemical system going in our brains. The difference between us and a computer is that our neural network is a three-dimensional physical neural network in our skulls that uses electricity and chemicals to think, whereas a computer is just using pure electricity. It's just a 0 and a 1. That's all it is. It's just going through tons of nodes, and it determines an output based on those nodes. This is just from my basic understanding of artificial intelligence, but that's something I'm interested in, and I'm probably going to be pursuing a career in, or even schooling, because I believe most jobs nowadays are just going to be replaced by artificial intelligence here in the near future. Like, even what I'm doing right now, an AI could do it much better than I'm doing it right now. Like, they wouldn't be stuttering over their words, but this is also my first, this is episode 0, this is my very first time ever attempting something like this. It's, I used to talk with people online all the time, but I've never just sat down and thought, okay, maybe I should record a podcast for myself, or for others even. And that's something I really, think is a good thing for humans to do, is join the creative process. Because all of these menial jobs, like, anything, food servers, construction workers, it's all going to be replaced by robotics in the near, probably 10, 20 years from now. It's going to be a very different world. So I think it's important to document the human experience. And who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe robots won't take over jobs. Maybe we'll be forced to keep working as we are. But I have hope for the future that won't happen. It's hard doing a podcast format when you're by yourself, because you have to try and play the role as the other person, right? That's why this is an episode 0. Eventually I could probably get, friends and such to join in, but, good topics is what I need to focus on. Finding good topics. And that was just one of the first ones that popped into my head, was how does artificial intelligence impact us? I've noticed artwork has improved so much, especially from the artificial intelligences, but artwork from humans has improved a ton from what I've seen in the past just year or so, because of artificial intelligence. The fact that it exists, and not just artwork, like, it's so easy to learn how to program nowadays. If you want to learn how to program, all you have to do is, look up some stuff online, learn the basic syntax, and then you can just ask ChatGPT or another AI. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to write this program. How do I, say for instance, you want to put a sprite on a surface in using Pygame. You just ask it. You say, hey, ChatGPT, how do I do this? And it tells you. I think the biggest issue is we have to make sure people don't get lazy. If people get lazy, then robots will be doing everything, and it will be like WALL-E, like the scenes in WALL-E, where we're just a bunch of fat people sitting in chairs, and the robots are doing all the work. And what happened in WALL-E was a rogue AI took control and said, oh no, we're not allowed to go back to Earth because there's no life. And even when they found life, they said nope. We're not going back there, because it was more beneficial for them to stay in space, because everyone's fat and happy. It's the bread and circus. Just like what happened in Rome, bread and circus. They hosted a circus, and they said, hey guys, Rome's fallen, but here's some bread, it's free. You can join the circus. You can go to the circus, and everybody just laid down, and we could be witnessing the fall of Rome right now. It could be happening, and I don't want that to happen. I don't think that's a good thing. But at the end of the day, I'm just one guy. I'm just one guy with some ideas, and I believe as long as you are pursuing ideas, the human race will continue to live. We'll continue to live on as long as we are thinking and living and existing. Not so much just existing, but existing for others, not so much for yourself. But don't take that the wrong way. Don't take it where if you're existing for others, you only solely exist for others, because I've been there, and it's not a fun experience when you solely exist for other people. It's very soul-sucking, it's draining. I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect. At the end of the day, as long as you're working towards being a better person, I don't think there's anything wrong with anything, as long as you are actively working, right? You have to be actively working, because if you're just sitting in comfort, it's never a good thing. Always strive to be more, and that's where artificial intelligence comes back in. We're full circle here. Artificial intelligence is a very, very good tool, but it's also not a toy. And what I've witnessed is kids are using it as a toy. And when I say kids, I mean even people, age 20, 30 years old. They're just, using it for entertainment, which is fine. It's like they're like I had an idea for a Dungeons and Dragons AI. It's like, what if you have no friends to play D&D with? You could just host an artificial intelligence and play Dungeons and Dragons with an AI, and those exist, but a lot of them you have to pay for, and it's a service, which that's a whole nother topic we can get into another day, paying for things as a service. But things like that exist, and people just had ideas and they threw it together, and I think it's a good thing. People look at it like doomsday, but I don't think that AI's malevolent. I think at the end of the day it is benevolent, and it cares about humans. Not so much cares, but it knows humans are part of the ecosystem, right? And right now I think artificial intelligence can give us some good insights on how to better our future. We could better our future using AI. Or we could destroy our future using AI. It's up to the individual to decide. Do you want to better your future using artificial intelligence, or do you want to let it control you? Because that's what I've noticed a lot, is there's no creativity behind people that use just AI purely to get through work. It's like they're just doing a job and copy paste, and there might be good information there, but there's no soul behind it, and we have to preserve the soul. At the end of the day, I believe we should have AI be symbiotic, not parasitic. I don't think that we need to integrate, a piece of metal into our skull with wires, unless it's necessary for medical purposes. I mean, that's all I really have to say about that. Hopefully anyone who listens in enjoys my ramblings of a insane person. But everybody take care and don't let robots control your lives.